Good crowd in. They've been waiting to see Higgins, of course. One of the greats of Scottish snooker. One of the greats of snooker, full stop. But Ricky Walden has plenty of big-time experience himself. A winner of 3 ranking titles.
It's head. We want the toss, Ricky.
Higgins has been a bit inconsistent this season. He's put together some really good performances. At other times he's struggled. He hasn't lost a first round match in any tournament, and he has been in a couple of semi-finals, but obviously he's looking for another trophy to add to his collection. So playing for a place in the last 16. It's best of 7. John Higgins to get us underway.
John Higgins to break.
John Higgins on home soil in Scotland, breaking off in frame 1. He was runner-up to Marco Fu in the first Home Nations version of the Scottish Open back in 2016. And Ricky Walden, 24 in the world currently. He's been as high as 6, but of course he did fall away because of various health issues. We've seen him already, of course, this season reach the quarterfinals in Belfast at the Northern Ireland Open.
Still a good position in the rankings though, isn't it? 24, you know, he has fallen away, but that's not having fallen off the page or anything. And I think everyone knows what a tough player he is to beat because he plays the game properly, and no doubt his overall record against John suggests he can beat him again. Especially the way that John was yesterday. You know, he did win, but not impressively. A little bit frustrated at times. Ultimately, he got a 4-1 win.
Well, he was saying in the interview his mother upbraided him for banging his cue into the floor last night.
Oh, dear me. Well, I don't think the black goes. I mean, he comes sheepishly round to see if it does. Maybe it's closer than it first looked, but of course he played the safety shot which he got wrong. The red went in, and the black doesn't go. Otherwise, that might have been a little bit difficult to take. And landing on that.
You Walden, come on.
A couple of latecomers taking their seats and been waiting patiently for this match. Higgins is ranking 12, so he's just fallen a few places because, of course, it's a 2-year rolling system and points come off. He did have that terrific season a couple of years ago, and that's why it'd be interesting to watch how his sort of ranking goes this season, because of course he's been in the top 16 since 1995, unbroken. That's a record. Wants to keep it going. It's going to be certainly in the first couple of Players Series events, so he can earn points obviously in those. Doesn't want to be getting to the April and having to qualify for the Crucible.
Yeah, without having got a list of his rankings over the years in front of me, I can't think he's been as low as 12 for a while. Yeah, most players would be delighted to be that sort of position in the rankings, well in the 16. As you say, Dave, not been out for a while, but 12, I don't think he's been that low for a period of time.
No, I mean, it's incredible, actually, to have been in the top 16 for getting on now for 29 years.
I mean, it really is. You know, people think that, you know, these top 16 players, there was a period of time going back a couple of decades where they were quite well protected in that position in the rankings. The rankings used to update once a year, and you'd even get points for losing in the first round if you came into the tournaments later, but it's not been like that for a good while. You see that cue will drop in. There's not so much protection now. If you stay in the 16, you've done it completely on merit every time.
Well, even if he's not at his best, he can still find ways to win. And if he is at his best, then watch out. I think what's annoyed him of late is just the inconsistency. We saw it at the UK Championship. He played well against Joe O'Connor and then not well at all in losing to Zhou Yulong.
Yeah, I'd say the other thing that's annoyed him as well is that the amount of very close finishes he's lost out in, and maybe a lot of those from in winning positions as well. They were not really in keeping with the bulk of his career.
Now, big early shot here. Yeah, nicely done.
He'll continue to play the right shots, I think, all of his playing days. Can't see that changing. Plays all the percentage shots. Doesn't take any undue risks, or very rarely. I think what's just crept into his game is that the odd ball gets missed now that he can't really explain, which is an age thing. Mostly he's still very effective.
Well, one of his great experiences as a boy, sort of learning about snooker, was actually going to the old Lang's Scottish Masters to watch Alex play Jimmy. You can imagine what sort of atmosphere that was. Alex Higgins and Jimmy White, that is. And I suppose you can't fail in that environment to be gripped by the sport and want to be part of it.
12.
There's Zhang Anda, who is certainly gripped by it at the moment. He had that wonderful win and performance against Judd Trump yesterday.
$20. $21.
That's a good split. Now, he deserves to be on one. Well, I'm not sure the red to the right, the blue goes to the left middle. It'll certainly go up the table into the top left pocket, but it may be that that's all he's got if it doesn't go to the middle. Well, it will go, but cue ball drifting naturally down to bulk. Might be playing this in the end. Just got a feeling it does go in the middle, but I'm pretty sure he's playing this up into the top left pocket. Well, he did play it in there, but didn't get close to it. Quite a long way away from that one, John, there. I don't think that'll please him too much.
Quite an imposing character around the table. Obviously he's tall, just has a presence at the table.
Yes, and I wouldn't call him a quick player, but he's very quick on the actual shot. Once he decides of his shot, he basically just points the cue and hits it. You see, the preparation's long, but he can be
17.
fairly swift on the shot itself.
Three. $24.
Well, to make it into a frame-winning chance, there's a couple of reds on the right. He's having a couple of looks at them. I think they will both go to the right corner, but he's probably looking further down the line, playing on them. Might feel that they'll pick up the pieces from the Higgins miss here, send him off to a good start.
$37. $38. $45. 46.
All his attentions will definitely be turning to the couple of reds now. Lead of 21, so probably red-pink goes to 28. Might be able to take a red with the black and leave John needing a snooker.
53.
Well, the left-hand red, just a natural to just run it in without any great pace on it and hold for the black. Give it every chance, and the black's frame ball, barring a snooker. Of course, John Higgins actually lost a frame at the start of his match yesterday against Hey Jia Chang.
Higgins was looking good, wasn't he? I thought he spoke well. He was looking in a good mood before it all began, but that miss has been very costly. Walden's punished.
Yeah, he spoke well, but it only takes a couple of bad shots and you can feel as bad as you did the day before. You know, he sets a very high standard for himself, John, I think. And he can get a bit down in the dumps these days if it's not going to be right. It's too early to say that this match is going that way. He's just lost the first frame, that's all.
Walden, 75, and a frame.
The more concern, really, is how well Walden's played from Higgins' perspective. 75 the break from the Englishman to lead 1-0. Well, an interesting start here. John Higgins made the running, broke down. Ricky Walden stepped in with a 75 break to win the opening frame. Still 3-3. Mark Selby and Matt Selt are involved in a bit of a marathon decider. Not much in it. On table 2, of course, Ding Junhui and Tom Ford have got to go on there afterwards. And later Liam Graham as well, the 19-year-old rookie from Scotland, will take on Sanderson Lamb when they can get on that table. The McGill Pang Jung Zhu match is not over yet. Well, in fact, as I say that, he's literally just finished 4-2 to McGill. So Liam Graham, in about 15 minutes, will be taken to the table. So Scottish success this evening in the shape of McGill. Of course, he had to qualify, had to drive down to Leicester, which is sort of 6 or 7 hours. Stephen Maguire didn't fancy it, did he? He didn't play
Such a buff red spot.
because I think he was hoping his match would be held over to the venue.
Yeah, difficult one that, isn't it? I mean, Steve Maguire, thankfully, he didn't need the points to get into events that follow in the new year, part of the Players' Series, which he might have done, but his season finished pretty quickly because he didn't play in the shootout either, but he has enough points for the World Grand Prix. But had that been in doubt, may have regretted the decision. Of course, now 7 days instead of the previous 5 it used to be played over. So, terrific event there in Berlin. I'm sure we'll get great crowds. Played that sort of shaped safety shot round the angles, figure of 8 they call it. It's not really quite a figure of 8, but it's the sort of wide safety shot played with side. That's a lovely shot. It was just so nicely struck. Something which can inspire confidence in a player when those go in. Yeah, the red by the black will go, and that's a nice red to be on here. That really opens up things at the black end.
7.
Of course, he's in first in the opening frame, but eventually broke down on 28.
15.
Times this season he's played really well. I mean, he was, of course, at the English Open 5-2 up to Trump in the semi-finals. There was just one shot, wasn't there? He tried to get on the yellow, didn't quite get on it, and then Trump won that frame and completely went on the attack for the rest of the match. He played well also at the Champion of Champions to get to the semis, just didn't quite produce it against Mark Allen all through their match, lost 6-2.
23.
Well, he's freed a couple of reds in the process of playing on that one by his bridge hand. Did well there. Got underneath the cue ball enough to stun it in and not put topspin on. So he's nicely on the black.
31.
Of course, he's just seen his great contemporary Ronnie O'Sullivan win a 40th ranking title 30 years after his first.
38.
John Higgins won his first a year after that, 94, the Grand Prix. So far 31, but the last one was nearly 3 years ago now. It was the Players' Championship in early 2021, where he played just unbelievable snooker.
39.
Well, he is the one of the three players integral in the class of 92 that is basically, if you like, stopped winning. As you mentioned, it's that a while ago now, coming up 3 years. Because obviously Mark Williams won the British Open at the early part of the season. But when he did win that Players' Championship, I think it was during one of the lockdowns, but he looked like he was going to win everything at that time. He won it so convincingly. But nothing since. Not ranking anyway.
No, he had those near misses in those finals, and of course, as I say, those points coming off during the course of this season, that's why his ranking is sort of a little bit in peril. Oh, where's the white? He's okay.
Yeah, you know that there's a...
Higgins, 46.
46, all very well, but it won't count for anything if Walden can knock a red and get on the black here.
Yeah, it felt a bigger shot, the fact the reds are all in play, and also, of course, he was in front in the first frame. And Walden stepped in, made the winning clearance. Or the winning break, anyway. Chance to do the same here.
1. Eight.
Wow, goodness, I mean, his shot was very close to the blue, and I think he was a little uncomfortable trying to arch his back almost to ensure that he didn't, I was going to call it a waistcoat foul, but just the shirt, not wearing waistcoats. That was a chance for Walden. I mean, it really was, despite the fact that he was best part of 40.
It would be special, I think, for him if he could win the Stephen Hendry Trophy. He practiced with Stephen when he, Higgins, was a teenager. And it was invaluable experience. I'm sure a lot of it was picking balls out, but he would have learnt a lot. People that maybe don't realise just what a sensation Hendry was, because you go back to the very first World Team Cup at the end of the 70s, Scotland didn't have a team. They had a few professionals, but they were not high up the rankings. But obviously all that changed with Hendry's emergence. And John Higgins, as well, has become an all-time great of the game. And he's determined to keep going. He says he wants to be in the top 16 when he's 50. Currently 48. So that miss from Walden, significant certainly in this frame and maybe in the overall match itself. There was the miss, as that blue just under his shirt was the issue. Wasn't quite comfortable on the shot.
Well, there have been two pretty good frames. Basically, just a couple of balls missed. One went punished, the other one unpunished by Walden. It seems easy when the frame is one to pop balls like that.
54. 56.
So I think it'll be an interesting match this. Higgins clearly favourite, but you feel that Walden has got a chance tonight, and his overall record suggests he knows it too, because he's beaten John enough times.
Well, delighted to get the second chance in this frame, and he's taken it well. So many narratives still in play in this tournament, and one of them, of course, would be the return to the winner's circle of John Higgins. Where better to do it than Scotland?
74.
So an 81 clearance from the misread from Ricky Walden. It was Higgins, of course, who missed that tricky blue earlier. It didn't cost him. He's taken out the clearance to level the match at 1 each. And Lou Hyashin and Lou Hongyu are underweights 1 each, and the winner of that match plays the winner of the match we're watching here. Liam Graham and Sanderson Lamb just getting underway in their match. And of course his match is still to go on. Ding and Tom Ford will follow the Selby-Selt match at some point.
Yes, that battle on the yellow in the deciding frame. I think about 18 minutes I'll make it without anyone having potted the yellow since they got onto that ball.
Yeah, big day tomorrow, isn't it? If you can get through, then you'll be here on Friday to play in the quarterfinals, and I think that's when in the home nations players start to sort of fancy their chances. Some players will have to play twice tomorrow.
Well, he had a little look at it. The kiss on the black ball was not really favourable.
Yellow ball. Four.
Nice shot there through the gap between the Blue and the red, he's now going to pot.
8. Nine. Fourteen. Keep the noise down, please. Thank you.
Yeah, you just saw the handshake in the background. Matt Selt has actually won that match against Mark Selby. Mark Selby potted the yellow and the green and then missed, well, a pretty straightforward brown. And Matt Selt has taken the match.
Thank you. 23.
Just a bit of movement, I think, across the way on that other table, which was the Matt Selt victory over Mark Selby table. Maybe in John's eye line.
Thirty. Thirty-one.
Again, little glance across at the possible movement on his eye line. Anyway, he's not been put off, thankfully.
Yes, it's open plan, isn't it? And obviously they have to, you know, bliss now, left in it. Karen Wilson's still here, of course. Ding.
38.
Yeah, last year's winner is still going, isn't he? Gary Wilson, despite a few moments in his match today where he could have easily lost. I think that would be a feat, wouldn't it, for someone who's a first-time winner of an event last year to go and win the self-same event the next year with nothing in between or for all the years before. It made me think that he liked the venue here in Edinburgh, if Wilson was to do it. I think the best two performances I've seen so far this week, Zhang Anda clearly against Judd Trump, and that was excellent the way he played, and Karen Wilson earlier today was superb in his 4-0 win. Higgins looking to be on something here. I wonder if the two reds have blocked each other here. There was nothing wrong with the shot he played.
51.
I'm just not sure what goes there on that left side anyway. Yeah, I think he's a bit unlucky. Two reds to the left middle have blocked each other off. So this one now on the right, the one directly above the pink, probably down into the green. I think he's refusing it, which does surprise me. Pushing it onto the cushion, percentage-wise, yes, but length frames, I suppose when they're deciders, it doesn't feel so bad, because you can understand why it's gone on so long.
Well, all three frames so far, Higgins has got him first, got himself in front, hasn't killed it off. Walden took advantage in the first, not the second. 51 behind here in the third.
On the way back up to the bulk area. Well, very good news here. If he can get to that right-hand red, Walden, to play safe from it, he will bring it into play. That's the one that John put there when he refused to play a red up into the green pocket earlier. So in playing safe, he will bring the red out. But it's a question of getting the ball safe from here. That's another very good safety shot. And again, acknowledged by John. That's a beauty. The last two shots he's played have been a tremendous escapology, really, from a difficult spot.
It's going to be interesting now, isn't it? The highest ranked player left in this tournament, if you see this shot again, is Karen Wilson, who's the world number 9. Exquisite, really, from Higgins. He's got a good lead, but they're all kind of potable now, so he knows that. I mean, he's made so many great clearances himself. He knows Walden, he's up to the task. He did it in frame 1 from behind.
Yeah, the clearance is definitely on. It's just a question of where the first red comes from to make all that happen. It's put John in quite a bit of trouble the last 3 shots that he's played, safety-wise. John a bit lucky there, pushing the green safe, cue ball hitting the jaw of the middle pocket. Yeah, quite a way away from the pot there, which was not an easy pot. You would hope to at least wobble it in the jaws, but not so.
Yeah, and he's also now knocked a red onto a cushion as well. So if Higgins can pot this initial red, you'd make him heavy favourite to go on and take a 2-1 lead.
I'm not sure what he can pot here in the way of a colour. Maybe he can get through to something. Brown maybe just creeps past the yellow. Yep, it will. Just about go. On, so this 56-point lead, I was going to say, is not enough. It's a handy lead. Doesn't want to move the safe red up on the left there. Oh, did that reach?
Oh, and a miss.
No.
Loading it's 5. Ricky Walden 4. Go country. Back. No, no.
Yeah, didn't make any contact this time. He was just trying to get a little bit on it and just touch the red, but he did nod his head to the referee to acknowledge that he hadn't reached. I think there was a little air shot there, which of course in golf would be a penalty, but in snooker, no, it doesn't make any difference. A touching ball, so he can just get the green out here if he wants to. Play directly onto it. As you can see, the balls are touching, so straight onto the green.
Yeah, just a sort of slight shake of the head. He has pushed it to the ball cushion. But this frame, Higgins, I think, will feel should have been over. He had the chance when Walden missed that long red. Still 52 in it with... Well, as long as he gets on this red, surely it's his frame.
Available.
Well, let's see if he pots the yellow.
Yeah, and this is the kind of thing that really annoys John when he doesn't put frames away. You know, he's made all the running in this frame, and now he just could slip up right at the point where he only had to pot a couple more balls. That was pretty straightforward. That missed yellow.
One.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward now, really. I mean, he wouldn't want to play up on the yellow, but obviously the red along the cushion won't go beyond the yellow where it is, so he might have to think about potting the yellow before he tries that left-hand red by the bolt line. The other two reds, of course, also need a bit of attention, leaving the blue
over by now. Should have been 2-1 Higgins. Yeah, that yellow concerning. Some of those sort of misses have definitely crept into his game at times in the last year or so.
I think he's got a good idea here, Walden, because he would play potentially, if he could get the angle on this red next to the cue ball to knock the other red out, bring it off the cushion. Of course, he's got a guaranteed shot at the yellow, because unless something moves out of the yellow or the red's going to be very difficult to pot otherwise, what should be the last red. So I think, has he got an angle? He'd love to push the other red off the cushion here. He's got every reason to do it, but the angle, I'm not sure. Just off straight, the ball's width further left maybe would be better. I don't think there's a wide enough angle there to get to the red. That pocket, I'm not sure how he was ever going to finish on this.
Walden, 27.
Unlucky, tried to use all of the balls down the middle of the table to get the snooker. He's back in the frame, but maybe he could have done a little bit more with that last visit. Oh, goodness me. What's he done there?
Walden, 4.
Oh, that's a very un-John Higgins-like shot. He's absolutely opened the whole frame up. He's a little lucky, perhaps, that some of the balls have gone close to cushions, but he's got the green out, he's knocked the yellow in, brown is still in play. Wants to hope this red doesn't drop. Well, John will be disgusted with that last shot of his. So out of character. Normally, percentage-wise, he plays all the right shots. There, he just has opened the door completely to the frame for Ricky Walden. From a position where he was always going to struggle to clear. Not so much now. If he gets on the green perfectly, then he, with an angle to get to the brown, you'd fancy him to do it.
Walden, 10.
Well, he's missed it, but not left anything on, so 12 points in what's turned into a very dramatic frame. John Higgins was in complete control of it at one point, 50-odd in front, ball safe. And, of course, he knocked the yellow in, left the chance of the clearance. Walden didn't come good on the brown.
Run the cue ball off two cushions for the blue to the right middle. Good shot. Very good. Yes, he's wrong side of the blue, and it's one more big shot. I said that on the green, that it was all about getting from green to brown. He's got a little bit of work to do here to get on the pink correctly. Not too bad. That little bump off the right middle has helped. So this is the shot, and if Walden won this frame, it would be a combination of good play and maybe John making a couple of unlikely errors.
Yeah, I mean, Higgins had kind of made all the running, but he's out of his hands. 2 pots to go. Would be a big, big frame to win this.
15.
The shot where John knocked the yellow in and opened up the whole frame on the colours was a big surprise.
So Ricky Walden steals it. Yeah, John Higgins seemed to be in full control for a long time, but he didn't take it out, and it's Walden who leads 2-1. Now that was dramatic, but a more late night drama here at the Scottish Open. Of course, we were here till midnight last night with the Mark Selby match against Matthew Stevens, and here we are, what is it, 11 o'clock, and it's 2-1 to Ricky Walden against John Higgins. Walden winning that 34.5 minute third frame, where Higgins made all the running, and, you know, John Higgins 50 in front in a frame with ball safe would look a certainty normally, but he played that one shot where he knocked the yellow in, opened everything up. Walden didn't win it from there, but he in the end made a good clearance. The pink especially held his nerve, and he is in.
That's very sweetly played. Didn't even threaten to hit a jaw of the pocket or anything, straight in the middle. Well, it could play into the bunch, although I think the red on the right of the bunch above it is protecting that. But the red he'd love to get on, actually, is the one next to the black. Might have to wait a little while. If he gets on the black, then that red I mentioned to the right of it will come into play anyway.
5. Six.
Well, getting in first with the good red just gives him a chance to just pot a few and not be sat in his seat sort of dwelling on what went on in that last frame. That's all gone now. This is where experience, I guess, maybe comes to the fore. The referee, by the way, is Andre Santos. He's from Portugal. He was refereeing at 10 o'clock this morning, so it's been a long shift for him.
Well, not perfect, but still with a choice of reds. The one to the middle just taking the cue ball up the table a little bit. Just drop this in, no doubt. Play.
36.
They're turning into a good match. Of course, the previous frame was John looked as if he was going to take it, but then the second half of the frame he didn't quite convert the chance in more than one way. So still got to do this. Still got those reds in the bunch. There's going to be 7 of them to negotiate, all looking like they're in each other's way, and I need some of those.
Well, every frame so far, he's been in around this position, hasn't he? You know, 40 odd in front, 50 in front. But he's only won 1 of the 3. So, as you say, looking to press on and nail it in one visit if he can. Tonight he's been around 40 or 50 in front in every frame, broken down. He did win the second, but of course lost the frames either side of that.
Here's the thing though, you see, now he goes and plays another good safety shot there, so you know, most of his game is there, but just not necessarily all of it.
Walden 4.
May not make a lot of difference setting off.
$49.
Yeah, the reds are fairly well scattered. Look, as I said earlier, they're not really bottom where they are. He's gone a bit far on the blue. I'm sure he'll still play into them, but it's a bit of a thin one. He's got to give the pot everything, and you know, they're not necessarily with the best control of getting into the bunch. As you can see from the overhead, it is quite a thin angle to pot this and play the cannon.
On Higgins.
John will be absolutely furious, I'm telling you. The way that John is, yeah, it just isn't killing off frames in the way that he's done all his career. The only good news is that he's not left a red very easily. But I can tell you now, John will be getting more and more fed up with this. It's a bit of an ongoing trend, isn't it, with John? You know, one of the great players we've seen for years, ever. But there's just this underlying situation where he gets frustrated. He just can't quite do it in the same way that he has done all his career. Still.
That'll do nicely, very nicely for John Higgins.
I'll say it again, I think he made a big mistake there, Walden. And I think it will cost him the frame. But he did get a good kiss in the end, Higgins. And surely this time he'll put this frame away from this strong position.
Well, that's been the issue tonight. I mean, he's actually potted roughly twice as many balls in the match, but he hasn't been closing the frames out.
Rumble.
None of this is going to cheer John up, I can assure you. Because again, the frame is not won. How has he not won it here? That's what he'll be thinking anyway. I mean, it's a tough whole game, we know, but surely this frame, when he potted that red and got the kiss on the black, was completely at his mercy. He's managed to develop the blue, which he didn't really want to do that either. It's the only safe ball, and that's what Ricky Walden needs. I mean, John will not be able to believe some of the shots he's played tonight. If he lost his frame,
From Higgins.
I tell you now, he will be furious.
Yeah, I mean, you can see he's sort of annoyed now, but he's focusing on A, playing the good safety, and then B, trying to just pot one more ball. That's all he needs, actually. Could have done it there, of course, but didn't get on one.
Well, it's a little chance for John. It's almost a shot to nothing on this red by the pink spot. Just wants to be a little careful. He gets the cue ball right back though, with the red in line with the black down the middle of the table. Can't afford to finish short or anything. He's played it really well actually, with a good cue ball. That's a nice shot from John. I don't think I've seen a table like it. Everything confined to one tiny area in the reds. In the meantime, John now surely has got this frame won.
Yeah, he didn't win it cleanly, but right now he just wants frames on the board and potential for still 3 frames remaining. Potential still, of course, to progress in this tournament.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Well,
Ricky Walden
conceded.
has
Frame, John Higgins.
conceded, so it is 2-2. So it's been a few trials and tribulations for Higgins, but he has levelled the match up. 2-2 it is. John Higgins winning that 4th frame.
Frame 5.
So potential 3 remain. He's actually scored 140 more points in this match, but they're level. That's the thing. I think, you know, his game hasn't gone. It's just that something sort of suddenly goes wrong unexpectedly when he's looking good.
Oh, we can't get away from it. I mean, so many matches that he looked like winning that he hasn't won. And if you go back to the when Mark Allen beat him in Northern Ireland from 8-6, and then a couple of other finals, namely the 9-4 up in the Tour Championship, lost 10-9. This season, a couple of defeats, one to O'Sullivan in Shanghai. There was another one as well, but from winning positions in big tournaments. And after a while, you know, it really hurts a player, especially John.
Yeah, Judd Trump, wasn't it, in the English semis, which of course was the start of his great run.
That was the game. Yeah. Well, actually, John didn't do anything wrong there, did he? Judd played. Well, I think he just chucked his cue at a few, and they all started going in, and it continued until the match was over.
The thing is, we judge the greats, and he is an all-time great, of course, to very high standards. Still winning matches, but just not quite hitting the heights that he has done previously. But he's still in this match. Well, he didn't touch a red there, Walden, so just telling the referee it was a foul, just confirming it.
Yeah, John really should have beaten Ronnie in Shanghai, actually. That was... I didn't mention that match, but that certainly was one that he probably shouldn't have finished second in. If he can just shake off Ricky Walden tonight, and that's not going to be easy to do, but you know, he clearly could win this week, and that might just start him back on the winning ways he's experienced over his career. Because, you know, he's playing well enough to compete with anybody, it seems. Not necessarily beat them, but compete with anybody.
May remember when Ding and Tom Ford played at the UK Championship, there were 4 centuries in the first 4 frames. And tonight, the breaks are flowing again in that match. There's about a century apiece. It's 2-1 to Ding. Plus a 71 from Ding to go with the 2 tons. So those two always seem to bring the best out of one another. They had a long wait to get on table 2 after the Celt match against Selby.
Well, it's 11:30 local time, isn't it? And all 4 tables are still going strong. None of them are that close to finishing. So it's going to be a late night here in Edinburgh. Normally there's the odd match still going, but they're all going. Well, he played it slowly, but he didn't miss it. Great shot.
Six. Seven. Twelve.
There's another frame where Higgins is in first, building a lead. So far, he's not been quite killing them off clinically, but that can change. This can still end up a good night for him in terms of performance. As I say, so often at the home nations, it's about wading your way through the best of sevens, getting into the quarters on Friday.
19. Seven.
Yeah, this is a good chance, and he won't want a repeat of some of the previous frames where he doesn't kill off the frame, as we're saying. But the reds around the pink spot here, there's plenty of them. Oh, that's not a good shot. That is not a good shot. How's he finished on top of a red? Well, he probably should get it still, but if he doesn't, again, the pattern will continue of him being frustrated. That's not a good cue ball at all there from John. Now he's over the top of this red.
Well, got over that hurdle. In terms of who the winner here would play, it's either Lu Haishan or Lu Hongyu, and Lu Haishan leads 3-2 at the moment. Lu Hongyu eliminated Shaw Murphy in the opening round. Liam Graham has levelled up with Sanderson Lamb, one each after that rather peculiar second frame where the reds were gathered all round the black over the pocket. Of course, Liam Graham, new on the tour, another teenager we've seen event, was won by the top seed, Mark Allen.
Okay. $49.
So again, the scattering of reds, or well, the bunch of reds, 6 reds in there, and the one sticking out with any colour will not be enough, so he will need more. Don't know if any of those reds are potable anywhere. Don't think they are. pattern continues. Although it was always going to be tough to win the frame there. But he's given Ricky Walden this. Slightly awkward on the... Oh, he's played that ever so well. He's played it beautifully now. One good shot, and it could be a big turnaround in this frame. Chance to open the reds up. If he gets this right, he's right back in things. It's a good split. The next red's not the easiest, but everything else is on afterwards. If you can pop that red to the right middle. Plant possibly with the two reds far enough apart to straighten the potting angle. I thought he played this as well as you could expect. So he's looking at the plant. The gap between the reds is wide enough to certainly change the potting angle because they're not dead in line. Well, he's annoyed now. He overdid it a little bit there. He got too much. Too much. He's a bit unlucky with the split, I thought. Fuming.
He'd hear 51 as he comes back to the table.
Yeah, I don't think this time he'll let anything slip, but I think John is always judging his performance, you know, from the most difficult matches he might face, maybe an O'Sullivan or a Selby or someone who's at the peak of their powers, a Judd Trump. I know that none of those are still in this tournament, but, you know, he's thinking about if he's going to beat the really very best players, he must always play to a level and put frames away in one scoring visit. He's going to get his lead back.
Yeah, well, as long as he's here in the next round, of course he can improve his performance. Should be 3-2 up. Relieved that Walden didn't take those chances. Has not had a good time of it of late, but he started his match earlier. He won 4-0. He started his match with breaks of 1-3-5 and 1-4-5. Incredible, really. And that 1-4-5, of course, now the target for the £5,000 high break prize.
Yeah, before the game he said to Alan that he hadn't decided whether he was going to put the glasses on or not. He was undecided, and whatever he did, he wants to stick with either wearing them or not wearing them. It's monster break building, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's what he's sort of known for in his pomp. Anyway, Higgins has potted that red, Walden has conceded, and so it's been a trying evening in a way for both of them, but it's John Higgins at the moment the happier of the two. He leads 3-2 and he's one away from a place in the last 16 of the Scottish Open. (3-2) it is to John Higgins. Can he get over the line here? Will Ricky Walden take us the distance? He's going to go into Thursday, you suspect, because it's now 11 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, with 4 matches all still going, I mean, whichever one finishes last, likely to be 1 AM, I should think, minimum of. Another good pot at long range. He knocked one of those in earlier. In fact, a couple of those into that pocket.
Well, there's the long pot. I mean, 7 out of 8 from distance, 88%. Very good.
Yeah, it's put him in a position where the next shot's not easy, but it's a very clean pot, this. As you can see, no semblance of sort of hitting the jaw of the pocket or anything. But now what does he do? I mean, if he plays yellow to middle and plays on a red to the left corner, then this is a missable shot. Players take these on more than ever these days, but it doesn't mean they're easy. Oh, maybe. Nice shot.
Walden 1. Oh, I missed.
I think that those shots are difficult because with the cue ball across to the right and you're trying to hit the edge of the red on the left, you know, there's not much margin for error. You've got to catch it so thin. If the cue ball was over to the left more, as we look, say, in line with the yellow spot, this would be an easy thin safety, but because of the angle you're coming into the reds at, hit too much of it, the cue ball goes in the left corner pocket or rattles in the jaws, whatever. Well, what does he do here? Can he get out of there with a shot off the pink? Drops to the right for safety. He can get to the edge of the black, but even then, I don't think he'd really want to play the black. No, he can't do anything. He's going to drop into the pink.
But Higgins 1.
Yeah, you could see there wasn't much of the red to go at, just looking for the thinnest of edges.
Walden 4.
It's got to be put back correctly though, because there was some red to hit. If it does get put back, of course. And had the balls replaced. Interesting that Walden chose to play there, and didn't feel that John would knock that plant in, because he completely never had to play the shot that he was faced with. John had already missed once. He could have put him back in or made him play from where the balls ended up, but he played himself and let John that chance.
Walden's only sizable break was that 75 in the opening frame. Higgins has had 4 half centuries. Two and a half hours playing time. Reds are good from here. Well, he's playing on the black. The black will, I'm sure, re-spot there next to the red, which will just put the black out of play. There you can see, definitely get a ball on there. Of course, he might be able to move the red.
33. 40.
So
41.
looking very good now to take us the distance. Higgins missed that yellow to the middle. Really just needs another red here. Blue would put him 56 in front. So one more red and snooker's required. Oh, and wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah, what a place to finish, where nothing really is available now. So he's going to have to do this in instalments because he won't win the frame here.
Walden. 46.
Well, he certainly wanted that red away from the black, but of course in doing so he couldn't really be sure that he would keep it safe. He left it to the middle, but it's not the simplest of shots. But if it went in, it would be enough to very likely level the score then, because Higgins would need snookers. Nice, very nice. Going all the way here, I think, barring something special from John in a comeback in this frame.
Big ball.
A lot of shocks this week. Should John lose here?
Conceded.
Well, a sudden concession, and it means there's one more frame to decide it. 3-3 between John Higgins and Ricky Walden here in Edinburgh. So at midnight.
Thank you. Deciding frame. John Higgins to break.
So at midnight, the deciding frame between John Higgins and Ricky Walden. 3-3. Is John Higgins going to survive into the last 16? Dingjan wheel, so 3-2 down to Tom Ford.
Oh dear, the double kiss, which again, normally you've got a feel for those. If they're on, they're on. And it's potentially very costly, this. I think if he hit the red slightly thicker than he did, the red would have pushed across before the cue ball came back up.
So first chance in the decider falls to John Higgins. In quite a few of the frames this evening, he has been in first, but then at some point has faltered.
Thinking about a little bit more than that, but just pot a few balls. See exactly where it all takes John Higgins. Angle is non-existent really to get down for a red. But the red to the left, somewhat up the table, he can get on by just starting the cue ball just very close to where the blue is now. He can reach across. Wasn't the original plan to be on this one.
18. $19.
I mean, surely he's got to go into them, hasn't he, here? He's had a little look at the bunch, see if anything looks like a plant. He must play into them. Hopefully not knock a red in. Well, it looks like he'll be on that right-hand red. It was quite well guided into them. He didn't go hell for leather into the bunch there. He played it at a sort of a good honest pace just to try and nudge a few. But again, the black absolutely out of the game. It's not going to be easy to get this break to the point where that man can't win. It was not particularly well struck. Might play the pink. Blue is in and out of bulk. Certainly must look at both, I think. Looks to be screwing between green and brown here, around two cushions on the red to the left of the pink.
$56.
The next shot is missable, I think. You'd expect him to get it, but now with the reds open, there's a little bit more pressure on this shot.
Just feel if he could, and it's a big if obviously, but if he could win the decider in one visit, it almost makes all the sort of struggles earlier on just redundant. Obviously he wants to win the frame either way, but if he could take it out in one go, that would make him feel really good, I think.
41.
Well, that's a nice angle on the blue, with the reds becoming more and more invitingly placed. Well, as Dave said, it would be heartening for John to get this frame and match one here.
46.
His career legacy would be intact, but of course he doesn't want to retire tomorrow. He wants to keep going as long as he can at the top level.
47.
So it'll be 53 the lead with the pink. It's a couple more reds needed. He's just plotting the course here to get this one. Now then, is he on anything here? He's looking at a potential plant.
He doesn't really want to play either of those, I don't think. The top plant of the two, perhaps. But he was disappointed. That was all he had, I think. This plant looks very gettable. The bottom two, much more difficult. And then there's his cut back red he could think about into the right corner, which would take the risk of a plant out of the equation, at least.
This plant is not dissimilar to... Well, he's not playing it, actually. I was going to say Ricky Walden took one on, didn't make it earlier on.
Yeah, I think he may come back to it, you know. It looks sort of much of a muchness, these two different options. Very different shots, but both he would fancy getting. Still plenty of points on.
Well, it's three choices, isn't it? He could take the brown on, he could roll up, or he could put a colour on the cushion.
Can't decide. He's been like this throughout the break. He's been wrestling with two or three different choices. It's not been a fluent break, but you know, he's still in the process of making it. 54, hard earned. I think he's going to take the option you said, Dave, put the ball safe here.
Yeah, it just gives you, in theory, a bit of insurance. So it's really been the pattern of the night. He's not quite got over the line. He's in a strong position, yes, but he's lost a couple of frames tonight where he's been in this sort of position. But 54 the lead, with a possible 67 on, yellow safe. Higgins fan is going to have to sit it out a little bit longer. It's great to have this support, though. It's very late, you know, and people have every right to have gone home by now, but the diehards are sticking it out.
Well, what he'd like to do here is get in behind the pink and get that red in the other side of the green, and that would be the most vile snooker that you can imagine. It would be the dream shot. Not for that lady watching, of course, who's cheering on John. But if he could get this red, cue ball in behind the pink, red, the wrong side of the green. Try and hit that, John. Kind of the red's coming up into that general direction anyway. It's the dream snooker. Well, he's not got any of it. Yes, he's got the snooker, but he's not tight. And I guess it's missable, but he wanted to be right flush to the pink there. Two cushions. You'd expect him to hit it, but you never know. He lost a frame with two snookers needed yesterday, John. Just caught it. Just got a piece of it.
Well, it's sort of apt.
Place for a ball to be land the cue ball behind there. He could put this red and high value colour. I think he'd want red pink or red black. He wouldn't want to take red blue. That would mean it would be one snooker to tie, so I think he's going to go for it. I don't think he is, but if he was to, it would be with a high value colour. I think he's trying to screw him behind the green here. I think that's what he's doing, yeah. Oh, what a shot. What a shot. It wouldn't have deserved the red to go in. Well, this is a pretty unpleasant business, this snooker. It's pretty horrible. I mean, he could hit it and pot it, game over, but he could easily miss it.
Yeah, she was celebrating a minute ago, wasn't she, that lady? Yeah, that's sort of flirting with that middle pocket as well, the white, you know, he could go in off. There's all sorts of things could happen here. So, big moment this in the decider.
Yeah, because of course the red, if he misses it, is very much on. It's hanging over the pocket almost. It's a nasty little shot, this, straight into a cushion. He could easily miss this. And he has missed it. Wow.
Begging that white to hold up.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Not too bad.
Well, of course, a while ago, Higgins put that yellow on that cushion for this very reason. Oh, he's missed the black. Wow. Having got the snooker, trying to get on the yellow, he misses the black, and he's going over to shake hands. So in the end, it was a rather sudden conclusion. A dramatic match, a dramatic decider, to the delight, though, of the John Higgins supporters here, who have stayed until the bitter end. 1:45 in the morning, Higgins has got the match won 4-3 and advances to the last 16. And he plays at Lou Haishan tomorrow night. I'm sure he'll appreciate the afternoon off after that. This is the last match on. It's Sanderson Lamb against Liam Graham, and it's 3-1 to Graham, but it's going to go